Hi, this is Sheriff Tim Donnellon, and welcome to another edition of Serving St. Clair County. With me today is Marine Division Lieutenant Dennis Morey. He is in charge of our Marine Division and our dive team. And with the spring just about passed and summer here, boating season's underway. And Denny, you've had your first year in under your belt. Time for season number 2.
Yes, it is.
Thought would be great timing to talk to citizens about boating. I know the winter is pretty slow for the Marine Division as far as boating, but there's an awful lot of stuff you guys are doing all winter, isn't there?
Right. We teach boater safety in all 6th grade classes within St. Clair County. This last year we taught in 16 different middle schools.
16 different middle schools.
Yes.
That's a lot of kids.
Over 2,500 students.
2,500 students.
Yeah.
Impressive. So they're going to have their certificates so they can operate a vessel, they can jet ski, they can ride their boats.
By law, it's required that they have to have their boater certificate to operate a PWC, a jet ski, and that in our class meets that requirement.
So mostly our Marine Division is seasonal, and then in the wintertime you work all year round. You'll keep on a couple deputies and their instructors with you?
Right. We go to each school, and
Okay.
there's usually 3 or 4 deputies that are certified through the state of Michigan to teach boater safety.
Okay. What grade class is that again for the kids?
We teach all 6th graders.
All 6th graders. All right.
But we also visit the Coast Guard Auxiliary and the Power Squadrons and just give an update of the county situation, and
Okay.
it meets the requirement for them to also obtain the state certification.
Well, after 30 years of being a law enforcement officer, how was it being a 6th grade teacher, junior high?
It's totally different.
Totally different. I bet. Well, I've got all good remarks from you. So either you, the 6th graders love you, they must, and the teachers. So all is well. Well, let's talk also. There's got to be a lot of maintenance goes on in the winter.
There is.
We've got the Pearl Beach down there, and
We store all of our boats down in Pearl Beach at the County Marine Service Center, and they're taken out of the water. The last boat we took out was just before Thanksgiving this year.
Okay.
And because we want to make sure that just in case there's a lot of duck hunters
Sure.
late season fishermen out there, just in case they have problems, we want to be able to respond to any calls for service.
When are we putting the first one in?
Again, it's at Pearl Beach.
Pearl Beach.
We put the first one in middle of April.
So that's a long season, April till November.
Right. Basically, when the ice clears, and we put a boat in the water.
Wow. Now, you'll have half a dozen people maybe working in the wintertime. Some staff, yourself, some instructors. Summertime, how many are you going to have here?
We have 40 total employees of the Marine Division, plus another 30 on the dive team.
That's a lot of people.
Yes, but we're all part-time people except for myself. I'm the only full-time employee of the county.
Now, let's talk a little bit about where they're patrolling as well.
Well, we have our boats stationed at 3 different locations. We have 3 boats down in Pearl Beach at in Algonac, just north of or south of Algonac, and then we have a boat in St. Clair Marina in St. Clair, and then we also have a boat this year. We used to keep it at the Coast Guard Station, but we moved down to the Desmond landing and marina area at the mouth of Black River.
Well, with St. Clair County, I think a lot of people don't realize we've got more international border than any other county in St. Clair County. 110 miles.
110 miles.
So, you really got to strategically, for logistics, spread your boats out.
That's correct.
If you had them all in Port Huron, you'd have a heck of a time getting downriver, in the same way trying to get north if you had them south. So
yes.
It really does stretch you thin. How many vessels?
We have 5 vessels total. We have, again, we had 3 down in Pearl Beach, 1 in St. Clair and 1 in Port Huron.
And
then we have 1 on a trailer that we can, if case emergencies, it's
Sure.
a smaller the boat.
Okay. And our dive team's got a couple as well.
Dive teams, we have 2 boats on the trailer. We have a jet boat and then it's like a Zodiac type boat. The jet boat is for shallow water situations. So in case we have an inland lake or pond and that we need
Sure.
to deploy in, we can get those boats in there.
Well, let's talk a little bit. It's a new boating season. Is there any new changes in the boating laws that people need to be aware of?
Well, the main thing is there's a lot of changes right now in the PWC laws.
Okay. Personal watercraft.
Personal watercraft, jet skis. Right now you have to be 14 years of age to operate a PWC, and you have to obtain the boater certificate through the state of Michigan.
Okay.
But starting in actually October 1st of 2011, and it goes into total effect March of 2012, there's you have to be 16 in order to operate a jet ski by yourself.
So this season we're all right, but then it changes
Right, it starts changing after next year.
after the fall, into the fall. Well, that's a big age gap, 16. They're
Well,
going to try to run it like they do with the driver's license on a car.
Well, what happened was this law is titled the Ashley Iserman Law. It came about from a tragic accident in Oakland County. On an inland lake, there was a young lady on a PWC jet ski, and she was towing a tuber, and she didn't have the PWC license. She didn't have the state of Michigan course, and the parents let her, another parent, her friend's parents, let her borrow the PWC, and she was pulling a tuber. They didn't have an observer, which is required by law to have. You have to have an observer whenever you're towing or a skier or a tuber. And she ended up having an accident with another vessel, a boat,
Oh,
and
boy.
she was killed.
Oh,
So they proceeded to enact and go to the Senate and had the law changed. So now you have to be 16.
Okay.
And it puts the responsibility of the parent or the owner of the jet skis. They have to have knowledge that that person is allowed to operate the vehicle or the vessel.
well, they're a lot faster than they used to be. I know last year I worked a few events with you, and I was on the float down in the Jobby Nooner, and I run a jet ski, and incredibly fast. I was shocked.
You
You could get hurt in a hurry in one of those.
Yeah, it's just like a motorcycle or anything else. And the water's hard when you hit it, believe it or not.
Oh yeah, no question about it. All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about getting your boat ready for the season. So we'll be ready to go with the hot weather. And this is Sheriff Tim Donnellon serving St. Clair County.
Sure, my neighbors Jean and Louise, they may be superheroes with superpowers, but that doesn't make them so super at saving energy and money. I mean, I like them and all, but when Jean uses that power vision to cook dinner,
Honey.
or when Louise or Starbright tries to save a little on the lighting bill.
Mom, a little light.
I may not be able to harness the power of the elements, but I save significant cash and help the environment with appliances, electronics, and windows featuring the Energy Star label. And I improved my home energy efficiency with insulation. My thermostat? Watch this. I'm just kidding. It's programmable. I don't have to lift a finger to save on AC and heating.
Mom, Dad's making fondue again.
So discover your own energy-saving superpowers. Go to ase.org/consumers.
Welcome back to another edition, Serving St. Clair County. We are with Lieutenant Maury, and we're discussing our new boating season coming underway for summer 2010. Now, a lot of people either just got their boats in the water or they're preparing them to put them in the water for the boating season. Let's talk about some of the safety equipment, some of the basics we should have in these boats.
Well, you should have, obviously, the one thing you want to make sure is that you're required by law to have flares in
Okay.
your boat. Now, these expire, so you need to check the expiration date on your flares.
Now, and they're real simple to operate, too.
They're real
aren't they?
simple to operate. You just pull them off and strike them. Now, I was at a class, and some people have said, and unfortunately, I've never had to use one myself, but it's like anything. It shoots out a flare. It shoots out a flame. So some people has rigged like a PWC or a tube to hold it up, and that way it's a little bit of weight for
Keeps
your
a
arm,
little-
so you don't have a little bit of that splashback.
Right.
So, but these are safe. They're waterproof. You can, they're required by law to anything over 16 feet in the state of Michigan.
Anything over 16 feet.
Anything over 16 feet, federally controlled water. So if you're in Great Lakes, it's under federal law. So
when our deputies are doing inspections,
we're going to ask to see
they're going
them.
to ask to see these. Is there a number of them you should have?
No, you got to have.
Probably a good idea to have half a
They're
dozen.
usually sold in packages of 3 or 4.
Okay.
So that's where you buy them. Or they have also the flare gun.
Okay.
Now this is just like a 12-gauge cartridge, and these also expire, and these shoot up into the air.
All right.
Okay. And you got to remember, this is a weapon.
Oh,
So
yeah, I can see
you
that.
have to be safe with them.
Is it now there's an age or anything with that, having that weapon or any
No,
kind
there's
of?
no age limit on it.
Okay, strictly a
again,
safety
it's
tool.
a safety feature. They're orange. It's just like a 12-gauge shotgun shell. And it
Okay.
shoots and it loads it, and just load it, put it in, shut it, and pull the trigger.
Opens up like a shotgun
It
there.
opens up like a shotgun. So,
Okay.
but again, it's a weapon. You got to be careful with
And
it.
that's a different division. I mean, is that required like this, or either or?
Either one, either
or. Okay.
Either or.
Okay.
And there's a couple of different styles, but again, it's as long as it's Coast Guard approved, you'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Any good boating store is going to hook you up.
Any of the
with
boating
those.
stores.
All right. Excellent. What else are we thinking?
Well, obviously, I think it's important to address cell phones and radios and things
Cell
like that.
phones are huge.
One of the big things I think is it's not required, but people should carry a Ziploc type baggie to keep everything in dry in. I mean, your cell phones, your wallets.
Yep.
You're required to carry your registration on the boat, so keep it all in here. It keeps it dry.
How about fire extinguishers?
Fire extinguisher, anything over, again, 16 foot, or anything with a motor on it is required to have a fire
Anything
extinguisher.
with a motor on
Anything
it.
with a motor
So
on
the
it.
little fishing boat with the
Fishing
little
boat,
5-horse Johnson, you better have a fire
Got to have a
extinguisher.
motor. You've got to have a fire extinguisher.
Okay. So
Yeah,
we've got our flares, our fire extinguishers, our cell phones. How about the shore-to-shore radio?
Ship-to-shore radio are not required. Obviously, it's advisable, but ship-to-shore are not required on your vessel. But if you need help, again, the best thing to do is have a radio or cell phone with you.
And that's the channel 7 is the
Channels, we monitor channel 16.
Okay.
It's emergency channel. And we also, if you want to talk to us, you just hail us down, and usually we'll have you switch to like channel 14 or something like
Okay.
that.
And all our boats have
All of our
those,
boats
so,
have
so
a
we're
marine
scanning,
radio,
so
and we
Mayday
scan.
or some help of some sort.
That's correct.
All right. And I would assume the cell phones, I know I've been out with you on the boat and I've used my cell phone. I mean, signals work pretty well out
They
there
work
still.
well out there.
Depending on what type of service you have.
You have good, yeah, like anything else, if you're out of range, but a lot of times you'll end up with a Canadian tower. But if you need help, it doesn't matter if you're roaming or not.
Yeah,
Somebody's
that's
going
right.
to answer.
Well, you know what, I think just about everybody will have a cell phone. I mean, whether it's a passenger on the boat or the skipper, I would hope there'll be an abundance of those. I know that my cell bill comes from my kids and my wife and myself every month. It seems like we've got enough of them, so I'm sure
There's
we're
enough
not.
cell phones around,
yeah.
somebody's going to have one.
We're not abnormal about that. Well, let's talk about some of the programs as well.
Okay. Well, what I like to offer, and the Sheriff's Department has offered this in the past, is the Boating Michigan training. And this was, if anybody wants to take this, all they have to do is call our office at area code 810-794-5655 or locally 987-1735.
Okay.
And it will ring into our office Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, and tell me you're interested in the boater safety course. We will give you this book. All you have to do is come down to the office. We'll give you the book, and after you study it and ready to take the test, we'll give you the test. And you have to come to our office to take the test. It's a proctored test, and it's a 60-question multiple choice.
Similar to what the 6th graders are
Exactly
doing.
the same test.
Well, that's a great idea.
And in that way, they can be certified, and it's free. It's a free service that the Sheriff's Department offers, and
So let's
get them all set.
Let's say you just want to start in the boating, you know, and you're our age and it's your first boat and you need some help and some education. You want to have that license.
It's all there. All the information you need is right here, as far as safety equipment, what you need,
And that'll
bell,
get
whistle,
you- that'll
horn.
get you
need
certified.
a whistle, bell, or horn. How to pass boats, buoys. It's all right here. I mean, it's an excellent thing. If you want to, if an adult like myself, if I had a friend that had a PWC and the child was right now it's 12 to 14, wanted to ride with me, I have to have a boating safety certificate in order to let that person ride.
So taking any kids with you,
if you-
neighbors' kids, nieces, nephews, you have
You
to
have
have
to have
that
that boating
license.
safety certificate.
Wow. Okay.
So that's a service at the Sheriff's Department office.
Sure. Well, and there's some other great services like the life jackets.
Life jackets. What we do too is through it's a grant through the Boat Foundation for Boating Safety, and the Sheriff's Department is entered in with them. That if you have visitors or if you have somebody just comes up from out of the area and you want to provide them a life jacket if they're going to be around the waterways, you come down to our office down in Pearl Beach, and all you need is give us a driver's license, and we will loan you a life jacket.
Yeah, I mean it's about keeping people safe.
Keep you safe. Obviously, it's the whole deal is to have a safe and enjoyable time while you're in St. Clair County.
So let's say the grandparents have their boat up and the weekend comes and grandkids show up and they brought some friends of theirs with them. Next thing you know, life jackets, you just stop by and
Right. We'll loan them.
we'll loan them out.
Majority of what we have is for younger children.
Sure.
They're the smaller sizes because most people have the adult ones. But
Right.
again, and I think it's important to realize that there's different types of children. By law, if you're on a boat and you're under 6, you have to have this type of life jacket on.
Okay.
And the reason this life jacket is designed for such is it has a hood on it,
It holds their head up then.
and it holds the head up, and it will flip them over to their back.
To their
so it will
back,
float them
okay.
this way.
Okay.
And then also this has a handle on it, so you can reach down
Both
and grab the
strap 'em.
child.
Because, in the southern end of our county, there's so much water. And it wouldn't be uncommon that, there may be a family event, a cookout or something, and they're not necessarily planning on going boating, but because of the proximity of the water, they just do. And they may not
Yes.
have enough life jackets. You have family over, cousins over,
Well,
neighbors. I mean, what a great idea.
as always, though, it's not only for boaters. It's if they're going to be down on the boardwalks anyplace throughout
Good point.
throughout the
Yeah,
county,
yeah.
they can come down and borrow it. I mean, because obviously the boardwalks are open, and we all know children like to look down over the water.
Yes, they
so-
do. I would walk with mine, and you'd have to really have a good hold of them because
Yes.
they can run in a hurry and get excited about something, and over they go. Well, it's going to be, I know, a very busy summer, and there are a lot of events. But before I get into those events, I just thought that also, I know on the just on the 18th of May, there was a fisherman. He fell off of his boat, and he was quite a ways out. It was downriver, and he was down in the St. Clair River by Russell Island. Fell out of his boat 9 o'clock at night. Dark by himself. He had his 2 dogs, which aren't a tremendous amount of help with him. 54-degree weather, and he swam about 1,800 yards to shore, and he had his life jacket on.
Right. He had the type of life jackets on is that there's all different type of life jackets. He had a life jacket on like this. It's an inflatable life jacket. This is my personal life jacket that I wear when I'm on the boat.
Not intrusive at all.
Not intrusive at all. And that's what really, you should wear a life jacket at all times when you're on the boat. Our policy is that as soon as that boat is underway, we have a life jacket on. This is an inflatable. It inflates in 3 different ways. First, it has a CO2 cartridge on here and a little tablet that as soon as it gets wet, it shoots off the CO2 tablets and it will inflate. The jacket will inflate.
All right.
Okay? And then also, if for some reason the CO2 cartridge doesn't inflate, we can pull this and should inflate it. And the third fail safe is that it will, and these also has a collar on to flip us over just in case we end up unconscious in the water. But if everything else fails, you can blow it up like a balloon.
Oh, okay.
And,
All right.
and again, they all come with a whistle because it's a safety factor. If you're in the middle of the water in a dark time, sometimes you can hear it much better than you can see. And again, it has the colors on it, the reflector colors,
Outstanding.
and things like this. Now these are more expensive. These are this one probably about $200.
Right, but
But-
you can't put a price on safety
Can't
like
put
that. I
price
mean,
on saving my life. So
and if you're when you have it closed and it hits that water, it automatically pops the
it will
Velcro and
automatically
open it.
pops open. Yep, it inflates.
That
This is what that gentleman had on. He had an inflatable on.
saved his life.
Saved his life.
Unless he's a tremendous swimmer. I mean,
We're talking-
1,800 yards in 54-degree weather at dark.
In 50-degree water,
Yeah, 50-degree water. I mean,
so hypothermia sets in fast.
yeah, that's quite a story. That is quite a story. That right there, testament.
Again, the common saying in the DNR is, it floats, you don't. Life jackets float, you don't.
Well said. Well said. Absolutely. Well, we're going to have a busy summer, and there's going to be a lot of events. I mean, I'm just trying to rack them off the top of my head with our Jobby Nooner and our Boat Week and our float downs and our St. Clair boat races and the Pickerel Festival. I mean, let's talk about some of those because this is a boating community, and from north to the south of our county, and it really keeps that Marine Division hopping.
In the end of June through the end of August, yeah, we're going. The first one is, the fireworks at AV down here, the Atchison Ventures is having fireworks. That's June 26th, that is. June 25th is a float down, where we usually have 3,000 to 5,000 boats down on Gull Island.
The Raft Off or float down?
I'm sorry,
Raft Off.
the Jobby Nooner.
Jobby Nooner.
There's so many of them.
There's
They're
so
all
many of
wrapping
them that
in
run
together.
together. I know, because we do have the Raft Offs as well.
Raft
I
Off
forget.
is in the end of August.
But the Jobby Nooners first. and
Jobby
that's-
Nooners first.
That's, how do we say it diplomatically? That's a challenge for law enforcement?
Yes, it is. We've already been in meetings with Coast Guard, Macomb County Sheriff, OPP, Clay Township Police Department, Clay Township Fire Department,
Saltwater Rescue.
Saltwater Rescue. We're all gearing up for that. We're getting safety areas set up. Coast Guard's going to have a Coast Guard cutter out there with the platform on it
yeah.
again.
Yeah.
So
Well, let's hope we have a safe one again. I mean,
Yes.
it's been a couple years since we've had any real tragedies. It was 2 summers ago with the tragedy, but let's hope this one's better. And after that, we've got, I mean, there's just goes from
It just
one
goes from
weekend
there.
to the
It
next.
goes from there. The day after Jobby Nooner is again the fireworks, and then of course the next weekend is the 4th of July weekend. So we'll be out for all the fireworks activities on the river that night.
And you have the Mackinac race as well?
The Mackinac race is in July 17th this year, I believe.
Okay.
And then I understand they're having a parade of lights in the Black River Mackinac is 16th, 17th is a parade of lights in the Black River, and then the weekend after that is the St. Clair boat races.
Which are huge
Which is
down
huge,
there.
yeah.
And that brings a lot of these, our dive team is with you as well.
Dive team comes out and just in case. I mean,
Oh,
fortunately,
absolutely.
hopefully the divers never have to enter the water, but they're there.
And the float down, we had our dive and our Marine Division out, and we had 3 different deputies life-saving awards. Saved three different lives there.
That's correct. The divers, one was not involved in float down. He just
Jumped in.
Jumped in the river. I think he had a little too much to drink.
I watched that, tried
Yeah.
to convince him to stay on the
Yeah.
dock, but
And the divers entered the water and pulled him out.
yeah.
And then, of course, one of the Marine sergeants, Don Berg, somebody was down by the tug Malcolm, was going under the
barge.
area down there, and he actually reached in and was able to pull him out.
And that's not his first life-saving award.
That's not his first. In Florida a few years ago, he actually helped and saved a couple lives down in Florida.
So that's going to be a busy day for us with all those. And we didn't really talk about the whole Blue Water Week now, they're going to call it, the Blue Water Festival.
Blue Water Festival, yeah.
Yeah, and that's going to be every day of boating.
That's correct, and we'll have boats up here. And if we need be, we'll move additional boats up in this area. I mean, that's one thing about boat. We can move them to different locations where they're needed.
Well, you know, you get downriver and you get in those bays, and it's every weekend. It's a party or an
Every
event.
weekend there's a raft off or a group of someplace down there. I mean, the water's shallow, and they get out there and they just anchor and have a good time.
Yeah, we don't have the drowning concerns like we do in float down, but we have different types of concerns. You know, more the fighting and it goes hand in hand with the too much alcohol. Talk a little bit about the Raft Off.
Well, the Raft Off, it's just what it sounds like. It's a group of boats that go out and tie up together, and usually they have a line down through the center of them, and they just walk and they party, they drink, and
Go from boat to boat to
go
boat
to boat to boat. And a lot of them don't know each other because they're out there every weekend together and things like that. But unfortunately, again, sometimes alcohol takes over and their fights begin and things like that.
Well, let's hope for a safe boating season. I know that you did an awful lot of teaching in the wintertime, got our boats all up to speed. We have our staffs trained, and you do some training with the staff,
Yes, I
the
do.
firearms, the education, all the same stuff. So they're ready to go. We had a couple new depths in the Marine Academy as well.
We had a couple new depths in the Marine Academy this year. They've been trained. And one other thing that I'm trying to do is we have a few officers that are certified to do safety inspections for boats.
Okay.
Just like you say, we talked about having the life jackets, we talked about having the flares and things like this on the boat. I would like to get additional officers trained. So if somebody wants out on their boat and they want to be to have their boat inspected,
make sure
flag
everything's
us
good.
over. I
Absolutely.
mean, don't hesitate if you have any questions, flag us over. Some people
Yeah.
think, well, it's like a police car or whatever, we're busy all the time. But we're there to help them out. If we can help and do a safety inspection on your boat, we're more than happy to do that.
Absolutely. And we've done a lot of collaboration, particularly up with the Atchisons and some of the associations that are going on with the boater inspections up in the north end of the county as well.
That's true, yes.
And that's coming along well. Do you want to touch on that for a minute?
For boater inspection or?
With the the coalition
Oh,
we have.
the Marina Coalition, Atchison Venture started a thing where we help out if a Canadian citizen wants to come over to have them contact the phone number. Unfortunately, I do not remember the phone number right now, and I apologize for that.
That's all right.
But if you stop at Atchison Ventures, they're in the marinas, and they can contact the customs and report. And it's to help people report coming in and out of the country, basically.
It's really a nice partnership with Border Protection.
It is.
Working with our deputies, and also to make sure that there's still commerce, that people, this is a recreation destination, so they're coming here to use their boats, and we want them to have a good experience and come back.
We want them to come back.
But a safe experience.
That's true.
We, knock on wood, we won't have any tragedies this year, and maybe some of these things with the jet skis being tightened down a little bit with the ages, it may avoid some tragedy, I hope.
Well, it's starting out to be a busy summer already. We had the ice boat that was caught in the ice jam.
Right, yep.
In March. And then unfortunately we had the plane crash. That was ours.
Oh, that's right.
We worked hand in hand with Clay Township Police Department, but involved water, so therefore it was ours.
Right.
And of course, and this gentleman that fell in the water last year. Those are 3 incidents, and it's only mid-May.
Yes. Well, when we started talking about all the events you have to do, 110 miles of international border, it's a tremendous responsibility. And we're really fortunate to have these seasonal employees that, will work 8 hours at the regular job and then come in and put another half a dozen or 7 or 8 more with us at night.
I can't.
And the weekends, every weekend.
Every weekend. I can't believe to tell you how dedicated these employees are. We have employees that have been with the Sheriff Department for almost 20 years, 18 to 20 years. And they come back every season. And whatever we need or whatever I ask, they're willing to step up and help out.
Professionals, absolutely.
Yes.
Giving back to their community. We talk about like Sergeant Berg's Second Life Saving Award, Sergeant Sheldon. These guys are 20, pushing 20 years. And that's a long time to put your summer in with the Marine Division.
Yes.
And we have those same instructors have taught all winter as well. And they're spending their time, their days off in those classrooms teaching 6th graders. And teaching 6th graders is not an easy it's not an easy task at times.
And sometimes the teachers will ask, well, where's so-and-so? Where's Deputy Howe? Where's Deputy Savine? Where's Deputy Witherspoon? Because I come in to teach, and they're so comfortable with these instructors that somebody new coming in.
Yep, year and year again coming back. Well, I'll tell you what, we are very fortunate to have such a professional Marine Division. Like I say, we have more water than any other sheriff's office, so we really are. It's an important function of the sheriff's office. Yes. It's a humongous responsibility. We have the border issues, the safety issues, and the recreation issues.
And again, depending on the day of the week, we're out there anywhere from 8 to 16 hours, and we're on call 24 hours a day. So if an incident happens on the water, please call Central Dispatch 911 and tell them something's going on, and we'll respond.
And if they want to get hold of the Marine Division, we have 987-1735 at the Sheriff's Office, or we have 794-5655 right down to Pearl Beach to your substation. All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Denny. Very informative. We're hoping we have a safe boating season, and this is Sheriff Tim Donnellon serving St. Clair County.